Space. It's vast, mysterious, and endlessly captivating, but it's also unforgiving. Imagine floating alone, untethered, with nothing but the infinite darkness of the cosmos around you. It's a scenario that's haunted our imaginations for decades, brought to life in films like Gravity and 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Houston, I've lost visual, Dr. Stone.
But what if this wasn't just science fiction? What if an astronaut really got lost in space? What would happen next? In today's video, we explore the terrifying reality of being lost in space. Space exploration is a high-stakes endeavor, where even the smallest mistake can have catastrophic consequences. But how exactly could an astronaut get lost in space? One of the most common activities during a mission is an extravehicular activity, or EVA, where astronauts leave the safety of their spacecraft to perform tasks like repairs or scientific experiments. During these spacewalks, they're typically tethered to the spacecraft to prevent them from drifting away. But what if that tether breaks? In the vacuum of space, with no air resistance, even a slight push could send an astronaut drifting away, with nothing to stop them. This is one of the most harrowing possibilities, an astronaut gradually floating out of reach of their spacecraft. Another scenario could involve a loss of communication with the spacecraft or mission control. In the silent void of space, without visual or auditory contact, an astronaut could easily become disoriented and lose their sense of direction. Without clear guidance, they could inadvertently drift further from safety. Fortunately, astronauts are not completely defenseless. Each spacesuit is equipped with a safer or simplified aid for EVA Rescue, a small jetpack designed for exactly this type of emergency. With Safer, an astronaut can manually control their movement, using small bursts of nitrogen gas to navigate back to the spacecraft. While the Safer system provides a crucial safety net, it only has a limited amount of fuel. Precision and calm under pressure are essential, as a missed attempt could mean the difference between life and a lonely drift into the abyss. So, what happens next if an astronaut does get lost in space? The first immediate concern is oxygen. A typical spacesuit has about 8 hours of oxygen, but panic and physical exertion can reduce this time dramatically. As the clock ticks down, the temperature becomes another critical issue. Space isn't just cold, it's extreme. On the sunlit side, temperatures can soar to over 250 degrees Fahrenheit, while in the shade, they can plummet to negative 250 degrees Fahrenheit. With no atmosphere to regulate temperature, the astronaut would experience rapid heat loss or gain, depending on their position relative to the sun. And then, there's radiation. Without the protection of Earth's atmosphere, the astronaut would be exposed to harmful solar and cosmic radiation. But the physical dangers are only part of the story. Imagine the psychological toll, knowing you're alone, adrift, with no hope of rescue. Panic can set in quickly, leading to hyperventilation and rapid depletion of oxygen. Isolation and fear can be as deadly as the vacuum of space itself. In such a dire situation, staying calm is crucial. The astronaut would need to conserve oxygen, minimize movement, and carefully use the Safer jetpack to attempt a return to the spacecraft. But with limited fuel and no guarantees, the odds are stacked against them. If rescue isn't possible, the outcome is grim. As oxygen runs out, the astronaut would lose consciousness, drifting endlessly in the cold vacuum of space. Without an atmosphere, the body wouldn't decompose as it would on Earth. Instead, it would mummify, preserved in space for eternity. But what about rescue? If a nearby spacecraft could be alerted in time, a rescue mission might be possible, though incredibly difficult. Future missions might involve autonomous drones or advanced AI systems, capable of retrieving a lost astronaut. For now, though, space agencies rely on rigorous training and safety protocols to prevent such a scenario from ever happening. The thought of being lost in space is terrifying, but it also underscores the bravery of those who venture beyond our planet. As humanity pushes further into the cosmos, we must continue to innovate and protect those who risk everything in the name of exploration. After all, the next giant leap could depend on it.